Welcome back to the kitchen. My name is Brandon. I'm here with my partner Art, aka Arthur Yves, and we are here to talk about something that is probably bothering us a little bit more than it should. But first, the cut of the week.
A piece of bread and not a toy instead.
Peace all on track.
Check the trouble I got, I'm hoping I fall. I'm trying to ball, but I'm getting double. I'm hoping they call it. See, I see potential with instrumentals that's flawed. I've been a problem. The problem is probably won't ever solve it. Look, I wake up, gotta get this cake up. This 9 to 5's really a 7 to 6 and shit is still like a pay cut. Well, fuck it, let me slang the streets. I'm calling my name. I got it down to a T. Come up, then I'm out of the game. But niggas be bitching about flipping and pop, 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 pop. A nigga killed trying to build just to pay the bills off the block. Tell them run up, cause I be out here grinding till the sun up. Lose all my time trying to grind just to be equal, that don't sum up. So know the truth, niggas don't wanna see you get one up. Them boys in blue harass you, question them, you'll get done up. Fuck it, it's envy that's making me pick the smarter way. I never fall victim to the penny, that's the harder way, cause I'm gone. It troubles me, it's troubling. I'm barely holding on. It troubles me, it's but troubling. I know they want another song. It troubles me, it's troubling. I'm barely holding on. It troubles me, it's but I know they need another song. It troubles me, it's troubling. I'm barely holding on. It troubles me, it's but I know they want another song. It troubles me, it's troubling. I'm barely holding on. It troubles me, but I know they need another song.
Yo, so that track is super hot. I like it. I love it. So that was my man Squally Lou on his album Drop a Pin. The name of the track is Trouble. Y'all need to check that out. My man out here locally. You know, we were looking to reach out to local artists, and this guy's name came up. He was excited about being part of this podcast, really excited. You know, and then he looked at it and he was like, "Yo, man, y'all are doing some dope things." So, you know, shout out to him. And of course, you guys know this is the cut of the week. So what we do during the cut of the week is we take a track, we talk about it, we discuss all aspects on it, then we vote on it. Trash a trophy, right? And as you guys have noticed, this week it's just me and Art. Full EQ couldn't join us, but that's all right. And I also want to tell everybody, look, Happy New Year. You know what I'm saying? So, Art, I know you have some immediate thoughts that you want to get out on it. Just throw those our way, and then I'll put in my 2 cents.
Yeah, no, I mean, I like the track. It's a good track. I mean, I like what he has to say. I like the samples in the back are done well. Don't really have too much like negative to say. No. I have some like critiques.
Yeah, some like mastering notes.
Some mastering notes.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I'll let you get into that. I think the two biggest ones that stick out to me is that the voice is a little high on the mix, and then the I don't know if it's most of the instrumentalists or just the piano is on it's on one side. It's not a stereo mix.
I'm gonna talk about that in a minute. Yeah,
and then as far as content goes, as far as words go, I mean he's got a flow. And this will be something that will always come up. Clever use of expletives is appreciated. Excessive use is just vulgar. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, one of the things I'll say about that, you know, as far as like the excessive use of expletives, I'm not mad at the way it's used in this because it's real natural. Like you could tell, like this is real, like. It's heartfelt, it's regular conversation, you know what I mean? So it's not like something that was added in order to make them appear more urban or anything like that. I could tell, like in a regular conversation, this is exactly how this individual talks, and I'm not mad at that, you know what I mean? I mean, of course, there's always room to limit it and grow and, you know, become more intellectual and vibrate higher, right? But I'm okay with the way it's used here. I get excited about this because this is a local artist, right? That, I mean, you know how I appreciate hip hop and what I love about hip hop, and I get excited because this is a local artist that's able to take me to that place, and where I've listened to this track like 5 or 6 times now, and I'm still going, damn, I want to listen to it again. You know what I'm saying? Man, like I like this. You know what I mean? And it's refreshing. it's refreshing to the world of hip hop to hear artists like this come out with a fresh sample, a fresh beat, and some really great lyrics.
I think what I've noticed the minute I listen to this, the first thing I notice is this is your type of hip hop.
I enjoy hearing that beat that makes you feel like, yo, they took this from a vinyl and like ripped it and like sped it up and then did stuff to it. Like I like that. You know what I mean? That's my hip hop. The truly sampled essence, kind of what you were talking about with the couple mastering notes. You know what I mean? And of course, my background is in the engineering world, and one thing I will say, like the piano being on like the right side of the track, while it still sounds amazing, right? It left me wanting more instruments, right? Because like a piano is a stereo mic'd instrument, like it's a big giant instrument, right? And you can shift it to the right or to the left, but when the piano sounds mono, that's like when a grand piano sounds mono, that's when I kind of throw up the flag and I'm like, whoa, you know what I mean? The flag on the mix. So that's like my biggest takeaway in that is make the piano more stereo there.
Balance, and you need balance.
You do have to have
a lot of music on one side and not enough on the other side.
Yeah. Like in the beginning when it comes on, you're like, oh, okay, that's cool, and you've expecting it to like fade over and then balance out, but then it ends up sounding like a Beatles track where you have the instruments on one side and the vocal on the other. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? Like I said, the track still sounds dope. I still love the track. I'm still gonna listen to it, 10, 20 more times. But that's like the one mixing note I have from it. You know what I'm saying? What was the other thing you touched on?
Oh, the instrumental was too low.
The problem, I think the essence of the problem was just the balance. Like I think once you balance it out, then it doesn't sound too hot anymore. You know what I mean? Because what you're hearing is it's balanced
audio
on
or a lot of vocal on one side.
On one side, right,
yeah.
And that's because you got the piano there. You got some of the drums happening over there, right? You don't have really a lot happening on the left side. You know what I mean? The left side's going feed me sound, and you don't have it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not a lot to say about this mix. I will tell you that this artist will appear again on the Cut of the Week at some point. I'm really digging his sound. I've listened to the entire album. I don't think he knew that, but I did. I peeped out your whole album, homie. I appreciate it. It's amazing. Just that design of an album where it really sounds like an album. I love it. I love it. I love your creativity. I love the way you think about that, man. That was dope. But I think at this point, we're just going to go ahead and vote on this, right? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So like we do every week, we take the track, we take the Cut of the Week, we talk about it, we talk about all aspects of it, then we vote on it. Trash or trophy. So, Art, what do you give it?
It's trophy. It's trophy. I want to hear more.
Yeah.
I think we've got some more in store.
For sure. Yeah, it's definitely a trophy for me because this is my style of hip hop and it's what I love. And my man had flow. I'm not mad at him. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. So definitely a trophy for Squally Lou. So as all of you probably can notice, the kitchen has got a little bit of a facelift. We're going into 2018, or we're in 2018 by the time you see this video, right? And we wanted to not just be some guys with a GoPro around the table. So we wanted to make it M.A.D official, and we also wanted to sound better for you guys because I know that was a big call out for a lot of our fans. It's like, hey, the sound though. So we fixed the sound. There it is. You know what I mean? We got some new mics here. You know what I mean? And of course, we also got the Apple equipment. But Apple will drop a software update in 3 or 4 months, and all this will be obsolete. So it is what it is, right? Planned obsolescence is the way of the future. I
don't know. Let's talk about planned obsolescence. Specifically, I think the call out is the this recent Apple information.
You're letting me down, Apple. You're letting me down.
They're not letting me down. I think they didn't follow the ideal, but they're not letting me down because what do you know about this? You know far more about. You're far more of an Apple fanboy than I am.
So I'm like 100% Apple everything. Like Apple rules my life, right? Mm-hmm. They drop an update and I update. So one thing I was thinking about this is Apple as a company, the reason I love their product so much is not because the product itself, but because of the company and what they believe in, right? Because what I believe in, what they believe, right? Which is ease, like ease of use, technology being like an extension of your arm rather than an apparatus that you have to carry around, right? It makes life easy, makes communication easy. And so, like, I believe in that. I believe in that and believe in those ideals. And one thing with the the lawsuit going on right now, like the phone slowing down and stuff. I'll say this. Like, I read a few articles on it, and one thing I definitely understand is, and this is something I explain to people when I have to talk about hey, what's the difference between this and why you should get this on a phone, right? If your phone is 5 years old, like, realize, like, they're not made to last forever. Like a company like Apple, they definitely want you to keep their product for a long time, but you've got to realize, like, the company's never going to tell you, hey, it's only meant to last 2 years, right? But I don't work for the company, so I'm here to tell you, like, hey, be realistic about technology. Like technology in 2017, 2018 now, your devices aren't meant to last completely forever. They are meant to be upgraded. And when Apple knows there's a problem and they're saying, hey, look, we're going to make sure that your device doesn't just shut off by itself. We're going to release an update that protects your battery, right, from just cutting off in the middle of you using it, but your phone might slow down. Like, I don't think that's part of the planned obsolescence. I think that's them protecting your investment, honestly. Right? Because that's what it's all about. And I think a lot of people are getting that misunderstood, is like, it's not them just slowing phones down so you buy another phone. It's them protecting the batteries that are in damaged devices that are worn out. Like, they were older devices. It's not like, like the newest devices or anything like that was doing it on. It was older devices where they flagged as, defective batteries, but they're like, hey, look, we can protect it in a software update. So why not, for the customer, which, would there have been a better way? Maybe. Sure. You know what I mean?
The only people this is really affecting are the people who are holding onto their phones for any more than 3-4 years, which aren't the vast majority of the Apple users, because most people have like a plan where they're swapping it out every 2 years.
Right.
And the people who are holding on to it are the same people who were complaining. I don't know if it was 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when people would be on their phone and be doing something, and all of a sudden their battery's gone from 90% down to 30%. I mean, that happens naturally. That's what you get when you have a lithium-ion battery in your device.
Yeah.
It's not meant to last forever, as B was saying. So I don't know. I didn't see this as planned obsolescence. I saw this as extending the longevity of your device for the people who, are balling on a budget. They wanted to keep their device working as long as possible, as well as possible, as long as possible.
Yeah, I think for people who are well versed in technology, they understand this pretty readily. But like, from what I know, and I'm talking from my small percentage of knowledge of the consumer base, but from what I know about like Apple users, like a lot of them are like early adopters in technology, right? And those people aren't affected by this as much. It's always the people who are the I'll get the term later, but keep their devices so much longer, And I think and for you guys who are hearing us use the term like planned obsolescence, let me go ahead and help you out like with that. Planned obsolescence is when they're talking about a product or a service that is intentionally planned out ahead of time to be obsolete within a certain amount of time, so that you have to either buy more or buy another of. When we're talking about like products and services for sales purposes. It can be planned obsolescence, could be in other industries as well. But for what we're talking about, that's what planned obsolescence is. And so because this was an afterthought to fix a problem, I don't believe this falls in that world at all.
The issue with this whole Apple thing is that they didn't put it out there in the README section.
Yeah.
And that's why they're getting in trouble.
Right.
And to be fair, this was only something that they've done recently. And so, I mean, they're getting in trouble because they didn't document properly. Right. The only reason why Apple's getting so much flack right now is because they are under a magnifying glass.
Always.
They are
the world leader.
They are the world leader in this.
Yeah.
And it's created so much news now that it seems like it's such a big thing. I mean, you see it all over your Facebook tweets or Facebook feeds and your Twitter feeds and Instagrams or whatever. But at the end of the day, Apple is they are a company and they are there to make money, as is every other company. So this is nothing that's just an Apple thing. This is it's an industry. It's an industry-wide thing. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the reason why they come out with like phones, computers, tablets every year and make them better than the one before, because they want to entice you into buying them. Right.
Yeah, of course.
Right. But at the same time, the company is responsible for supporting the older devices as well. Mm-hmm. And what people have to realize is like your device is a piece of hardware. It will break down over time. Mm-hmm. Right. If you still have your iPhone 5C and you're like, it's not working like it was the day you pulled it out the box, that's not necessarily Apple's fault. It's not your fault either. It's just the nature of the beast.
It's a variable. It's a mixture of multiple things.
Yeah.
It's the device being old. It's the lithium-ion battery breaking down. It is the fact that people want to keep their devices updated with the newest operating system. More people are buying Android phones than there are Apple phones.
Well, sure.
And that's kind of the way the companies are set up. Apple and Google aren't battling on this. I mean, you pick up your Apple phone and go to Safari. What is the search engine you're using?
Yeah. The default search engine is Google, sure.
Apple has a magnifying glass because they are the more marketable brand.
If you make my messages turn green, I don't like you. Just throwing that out there. You're not my friend.
I am the way your son don't need a gun to get respect up on the street.
That's going in the video.
If my messages are green and I text you, I must really like you as a person. Forget them green messages. That's how I feel. And if I'm on Facebook Messenger and you turn my messages green, I'm going to stop talking to you. Real talk.
Boom. 2 + 2 is 4. -1, that's 3. Quick maths. Everyday man's on the block. Smoke trees.
Back to the task at hand. I'm sorry.
Now, what's this about? You were telling me earlier about the French Apple execs getting...
Yo, that's crazy. Okay, so how I understood this article, or it was 2 articles. How I understood this was that planned obsolescence is illegal in France. It's a criminal offense. And the Apple execs over Apple France are subject to criminal charges up to $300,000 in fines. I believe that's each, and up to 2 years prison time.
Is that $300,000 euros each?
It didn't say euros, but you're probably correct. Yeah, so 300,000 euros and up to 2 years in prison, which is crazy. And here's why it's crazy. It's not crazy because it's illegal. If that's what the country wants to make illegal, I'm not saying, you can do what you want. You know what I mean?
You do you, France.
Right. It is what it is. You do you. We love you. Anyway, what is crazy is none of these individuals are responsible for the software direction of the company.
No.
Right? They don't make those decisions.
I think they're being held accountable for something. They're trying to send a message. There's a very specific group that's heading this whole lawsuit
Yes.
thing in France, the French specific version of the lawsuit, and
Yes.
they are pushing for
the criminal charges.
charges.
I can't remember what the name of the group is, but there is a specific group that was formed simply to stop companies from operating under the assumption that planned obsolescence is okay. It was crazy. I'm looking at this like, so I'm just going to work every day doing my job, giving a go on things, and next thing you know, somebody makes a decision overseas, and now I'm held accountable for it. Like, I got to pay my money, and I got to spend time in jail. Like, I ain't gonna lie, like, I'd be a little upset, a lot upset, that I have to go through this nonsense. And the thing about it is, like, over there, it could go either way. It could go any way. We don't know. You know what I'm saying? We don't really know. Over here, it could be, there's enough evidence to where I don't think it's ever going to get to the criminal stage. You know what I mean? Apple settles the class action lawsuit with replacing batteries for $30, that's cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah, actually, that was way cool.
Yeah.
I thought they did make a mistake. They didn't document properly.
Yeah.
And they're saying sorry. And that's, for a company as big as Apple, that's massive. That's huge.
Yeah, that's amazing. And they've never done anything like that before. They've never offered a battery replacement on a phone. They've never offered any work at Apple for $30, much less a battery replacement on a phone. But no, that's real cool of them. That's real cool. Apple, you get an A for that. So yeah, man, these execs, man, like they, I feel sorry for them. I feel like.
Do you think it'll go through though? I think this is just them trying to like send a message out. I don't think they're gonna hold these people accountable for what the whole of the corporation did, especially since they, at least as far as I'm aware, I know they marketed this company, and that's kind of what they went into something about that. The marketing, they're specifically going after the people who are marketing the product that is planned to go obsolete. So maybe there is a French like marketing team.
Yeah.
And so it's a lot of gray area, but ultimately it is not, this whole issue does not fall onto the marketing team. It falls onto the documentation, whoever is supposed to document the change that took place.
But here encompasses the problem. That's great by like our laws, right? But then they can, their laws can say whatever it is they say, and you know what I mean. And like the tables can turn, the tides can turn. You know what I mean? And now they have to fight an international legal battle. But the thing about it is I don't know which way it's gonna go, right? I don't know. I hope it doesn't go the way of the criminal offenses, right? Because these guys aren't responsible. But I feel sorry that they have to even go through it, have to have the conversation about it. You know what I mean? Like that sounds like a pretty stupid thing to have to go through. It's kind of like the person who made your T-shirt being held responsible for the fact that you shot somebody 3 days ago. You know what I mean? Like, what? You know what I mean? They're not connected in that fashion. But either way, you know what I mean? Maybe there's parts of it that we don't understand. You know what I mean? That's always possible too. At the end of the day, this is crazy. It just boils down to the fact that it's crazy. You know what I mean? Normally I have something like crazy and stupid and witty to say, but this is just crazy. It's just wild. It's a wild world we live in.
But we got these new mics though, so.
And as wild as the world that we live in is, my truck still can't fly. No, I haven't gotten over it. So fam, thanks for chopping it up with us this week in our special New Year's edition of The Kitchen. Maybe we'll throw some of these outtakes in there at the end. I don't know. Maybe it'll happen. It might. You never know. And always remember, we're here to have conversations, right? So go ahead and follow us on our social medias. Go ahead and leave some comments below. And if you want to be part of our cut of the week, go ahead and submit your track in the email below. You know what I mean? Hit that subscribe button and that like button on this video. Make sure you can see more of this and more of us, especially in our new space. because the kitchen got a facelift for 2018, baby. Yes. So anyway, I'm wrapping it up with you guys. We're out. Bully bully wom.
This is the cut of the week.
We'll run that back because I forgot what the hell I was about to say. There's no blips or blurs. It did it perfectly, sir. I'm the shit. So, fam, look. Thanks for chopping it up with us this week as our New Year's special. Do it again. My bad. So apparently that wasn't good enough for Grandmaster Art. So I gotta do this again.